Okay guys, what's going on? Hey, welcome back to another amazing video. In this video, you're going to learn what the true cost of living in Danville, California is. And it's a little higher than the national average, but there's some good reasons for that. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to like and subscribe to all of my videos and make sure you hit that little bell right over there so you get notified every time I put a new video out. All right, let's jump in and take a look at some of the fun facts about Danville. Danville, California actually has a population of 44,205 residents as of the last census. The median income is about a little over $140,000. And the average age is about 45 years old, 44.9% if you really want to be technical about it. Some of the things that's really interesting about Danville, one of them is going to be the school costs. Now on average, the schools around the US spend about almost $13,000 per child per year. Here in Danville, we spend just a little over $9,000. So that's one place that we get to see some of the prices decrease versus increase when moving to Danville. As I've talked about in some of the other videos I've put out, what to do in Danville, the pros and cons of Danville. You've seen probably all of them. But you know what? Just some other quick pros and cons on just kind of considering what it really costs to live in Danville. So the year-round climate's a pro. The attractive, setting is a pro. We have some good arts and crafts here in the Danville Tri-Valley area. Some of the cons: softer economy, it's crowded, and yes, of course, there is the extreme living cost. We're gonna jump into that right now. You ready? Let's go. Now we're going to be taking a look at some of the costs here in Danville versus Walnut Creek, which is one of the neighboring cities right up the 680 corridor, about one city. So we're going to go Danville, Alamo, which is another city we're going to talk about, and we have talked about in other videos, and then we're going to go to Walnut Creek. So Walnut Creek is where I live. It's the biggest little city out here in the East Bay. So I figured we'd go Danville, very family centric, and then we'd go Walnut Creek, the biggest little city, compare and contrast and see where your value is. Now, one of the biggest distinguishing differences is going to be right off the bat when it comes to the purchase price of real estate. Now, in Danville, your median price is going to be $1,284,000 and change. And then in Walnut Creek, your median price is going to be $873,800. Now, that's a difference of $410,000, which is about 32% more affordable to live in Walnut Creek than it is to live in Danville. But I can tell you right now, after being a resident of the Danville Alamo area for nearly all of my life, I lived in Danville, Alamo, Walnut Creek, Lafayette. I've lived in a lot of the cities that I talk about in a lot of my videos. I'll say that one thing, Danville has a uniquely good vibe about it. If you're going to be moving there and you have kids, you want to go out for dinners and ride your bikes around town, well, this is just an awesome opportunity to do it. Now, again, your housing costs are definitely going to be up. Now, another one that's not too much up and different from Walnut Creek is your food costs. A lot of us think, oh my gosh, if everything else is going to be more expensive, the food's got to be more expensive. But Danville's only 2.7% higher than it is in Walnut Creek to eat, which actually really surprised me a lot, because I was going to think that the cost of eating out in Walnut Creek versus Danville, you definitely pay a little bit more than that. But I'm really glad to hear that you actually don't. Let's bring up one of my favorite topics, and that's food and beer. I love beer. As you guys have watched my other videos, I'm always talking about where to get a good beer, where to get some pizza, where to get, you fill in the blank. Thank goodness I work out enough, I don't have to worry about it. But let's talk about some of my favorite places here in Walnut Creek and Danville. But let's talk about Danville first. There's a lot of good family eateries. This gentleman here, Rodney Worth, a friend of mine, has 4 or 5 restaurants in town. The Peasant and the Pear series, or the Tiny Pear or the Prickly Pear. He's got a breakfast place in Alamo. Just a great quality of food. The Peasant and the Pear downtown Danville, phenomenal, good, great food. I mean, it's just some of my favorite. Right across the street, you have Primo's Pizza. And Primo's Pizza, man, it's the place where you go if you have a kid and they're in sports and they're gonna win a playoff game or something. The cool thing about Primo's, which you probably don't know, is the fact that when you buy one pizza, you automatically get one for free. Whatever you buy, a mini to a mini, an extra large to an extra large, whatever it is, you get it. It's right in there. So you buy one, get one free. That's why they do the pizza parties. That's why they're so important there. Another great place that you want to check out, and this is a watering hole of watering holes. Everybody in Danville is going to be coming through this place. It's called Pete's Brass Rail and Car Wash. And we always joke around the fact, who's Pete? Where's the brass rail? And what the heck happened to the car wash? Because there's none of those there. But it's a great place. It has a huge oak tree out in the front patio. Now, if you like large salads, large burgers, healthy, servings of food, and an assortment of beer that just never stops, Pete's is going to be your place to go. I have racked up something like over 5,000 beers over the last like 10 or 12 or more years that I've had this little beer card that you go and fill out each beer when they come in new. So you're always trying something new and different. Great place. Now, there's also a couple other places I want to talk about really quickly. They just changed the name of it. I think it's called Player One now, but it was called Magaz, and it's a dueling piano bar on West Prospect. Now, this place is great for lunch. It is great for evenings. If you want to go out and get a little rowdy, and you can go over to the dueling piano bar, have some drinks, sing along to some good songs, and have an overall great time. If you want to just kind of chill out, well, head on over to the Danville Brewery. That's right, people. We got a brewery in Danville. Has anyone drank there? This dude! Yes. Great food, great beer selection, and they do it all here right in downtown. So you can just walk on over and just try yourself a tasty beverage. Okay, let's talk about a couple of other things that we should probably talk about Danville, comparing them to Walnut Creek. One of them would be utilities. You would think that utilities would be rough. This place is gonna be so expensive, but it's not. Actually, comparing Walnut Creek to Danville, there's only about a 1.3% difference, being Danville just being a smidge higher than Walnut Creek when it comes to utilities. And that's a great thing because your property values in both these cities are phenomenal. Overall, Danville is going to be a better return on your overall dollar for dollar spent, but that's not talking about the lifestyle that you want. There's a totally different discussion we had there on your lifestyle versus your dollar for dollar return. Well, the last thing I want to talk about super quickly is going to be childcare. Now, we all kind of wonder what the heck, how much is it going to cost to get childcare, right? Especially when you're moving into a new city. The good thing is between Danville and Walnut Creek, they're pretty much equal. They're on a scale of 189.8%. Now, if the national average is 100, that means we're 89.8% above the national average. But that has to be expected when it comes to overall just your quality of life. When we're ranked one of the safest cities in the U.S., the safest city in California in 2018. So you're gonna pay a little bit to get a little bit. It's that give and take here in life. Now, we've talked about some of the things when it comes to actually what it costs to live in Danville. Talked about the real estate, talked about utilities, we talked about childcare. We've gone over a couple of different places to go get some drinks and some snacks here in town. If you guys want to see more, subscribe to my channel, like I asked before, and watch all the rest of the videos on Danville that I've produced. But here is a free, fun thing to do in Danville, California. Now, if you're just moving here, you've never heard the words Iron Horse Trail. Now, Iron Horse Trail is a phenomenal little additive here into the area. This is actually where the old Southern Pacific Railway used to run. Now it's a walking path, and it's basically a Heelan freeway. It expands 30 miles. It goes into 2 different counties. It goes from Pleasanton, California, which is in Alameda County, all the way up to Concord, California, where it dead ends. Now, there are other trails that spurt off of it, like the Canal Trail here in Walnut Creek, or some others down in the Pleasanton neighborhoods. But this is just an overall free thing. If you want to get out, get some exercise, and enjoy Danville at a zero-cost basis, that's a great option to do with the family on a great, beautiful Saturday morning. Well, there it is, guys. There's a couple of things to look at when it comes to the cost of living in Danville. Is it the right place for you? Is it not? Do we know? We don't. But you know what? At least you know some really cool things to do in Danville. Get a good place to get a beer. Gonna get a good place to get a snack or a nice night out with your loved one or significant other. Or take the kiddos out for a Saturday and you guys get a beer and they get to have some nice iced tea and enjoy the beautiful weather. Either way, guys, if you have any questions about the cost of living in Danville or any of my other videos, please make sure that you guys reach out to me. I'd be happy to be a resource for you in any way, shape, or form. Again, guys, my name is Greg McDaniel. My phone number is right here on the screen. You reach out to me at 925-915-1978. I'd be happy to do anything I can to help. All right, guys, look forward to seeing you on my next video. I'll see you later.